All right, let me turn the lights on if we can barely see me. I got an interesting message yesterday from a fella, MB Haystacks, my man. Freaking awesome thought. This is what I love about this man. You guys give me ideas and my mind blows up. I think I might be crazy, man. I legit enjoy thinking about this stuff. It's freaking bizarre, man. I can't share that with anybody in my life. Nobody in my life has that passion for this. This is crazy. I think I've identified that I have a problem. I legit love this stuff. Anyway, MB Haystacks, my man, he writes, is it total tonnage you're chasing? For example, 3.6 ton or 3,600 kilos, or is it specifically doing it at 180 kilos? You might get more tonnage at a lower weight than 180. Is it worth experimenting to find your sweet spot? For example, maybe 160 or 140 for higher reps will get you to 3,600 kilos. That's what I found when I used to train AMRAPs a couple of years ago. Back then I was clearing 2.5 ton in 60 seconds, but it was easier at lower weights. Just a thought. MB Haystacks, I didn't respond to this comment because when I read it, I was like, lit me up. The very first thought is, my God, man, my mind just lit up. Okay. So 180 kilos for a set of 20 is 3,600 kilos of weight moved. I'm not a physicist, I'm not a physics master, but work is a formula. How much work do you do in 180 kilos for 20? Well, you are moving 3,600 kilos total, tonnage. So what he's talking about is, why don't you aim for that tonnage? So you can play with the numbers to work out that tonnage. You can do 100 kilos for 36 reps. You can do 60 kilos for 60 reps. And that right there, I was like, damn, I'm gonna do that today. Yes, it is impulsive. Yes, I'm tweaking something that doesn't need to be tweaked. I should have left it as how I was at 5 kilos. At 145, 5 reps, 145 reps, 160, they do my AMRAP and they go back to 140 for 5, then 160 for 5, then another AMRAP and just rinse and repeat and do all the accessory movements on the side and voila, Bob's your uncle. I'm in fantastic period right now. Everything is feeling great. Nothing hurts. It's freaking mint. I'm on the right path. High repetitions are doing something for me. Since I've stopped singles, my life has been great. I've gone to 5s. Not only do I feel healthy and all that, but I feel strong and I'm improving. Then I thought, what if I go to 10s? Messed around with 10s this past week. Yes, pumps are crazy, feel great. I go to 180 and thinking, man, I'm fatigued. I've got jelly legs. I get 11. With the 180. Of course, there needs to be a transition period. And then MB Haystacks is like, dude, why don't you just think about tonnage? How do you get 3,600 kilos of tonnage? 60 times 60 is one way. 100 kilos for 36 reps is one way. And then I think to myself, seems to me, the higher the repetitions, the better muscular response I get. Why don't I do 60 for 60? So I loaded the bar up today, just freaking walked in here, warmed up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I thought, let's go. Put 60 on the bar, do 10, bunch of breaths, do 10, bunch of breaths, do 10, bunch of breaths, all the way to 50. Could have gotten 60, probably could have gotten 70. But let's start with 50. Let's start with 50 and see how it goes because, well, the pump was mean, but I wasn't taxed centrally, like my there's not a lot of weight on me, so the shoulders are not dying, my core is not dying. Yeah, I got a bit of a lower back pump, and definitely got a glute pump, which is fantastic. So then the very next question is all tonnage created equal? Hell nah. Absolutely not. Definitely not. If you can squat 60 for 60, does that mean you can do 180 for 20? Absolutely not. But is there value in that? I think there is. I think there is, and I might be just a weird guy, but historically speaking, every time I do high reps, man, my body feels fantastic. I remind you, this is the method that I used to get to 200 kilos for a 1 rep max. I did the bar for 50. I did that sort of stuff, like 40 kilos for 40 or something to that extent. I can't remember. I have to look at the book. 60 for 20, like all that kind of stuff. I was doing it every single day, I remember. Some form of, definitely the barbell for 50. That was kind of like my warm-up. I kept doing that, my quads started feeling better and better and better and better and better. And one day it's like, man, this shit is feeling light ass. Let me take this thing up to a single. Bang, bang, bang. 200 goes up. Now I might be from some different planet and I've got different biology in me. Or the majority of the community out there that's posting stuff, they're just regurgitating the same old shit and no one's actually thinking. Ivan, this is not the most efficient way to get stronger. Ivan, stop doing that. Ivan, go back to reps of 5. Ivan, you need to do triples. Ivan, you need to do singles. And over and over and over again, I get reminded that this shit works for me. This 60 for 50 set that I just did felt like I was training. Felt like the 180 for 20. When I do 160 for 5, when I do 140 for 5, I feel the weight, but I don't feel my muscles working. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Maybe I'm different. I don't know what's going on. But when I'm handling heavy weight, I was just talking to a friend on Patreon, exchanging messages. He's like, dude, every time I load heavy ass weight on the back squat, I feel like it's a freaking posterior chain exercise. I don't feel anything. I just feel the weight. I feel it in my lower back. I feel it in my posterior chain. I'm like, dude, I feel the same. But when I lighten that shit up and I go to like 25% of my 1 rep max, and I do that shit for 20, 30, 40, 50 reps, all of a sudden I feel every part of my quad. I feel my glutes. I feel my adductors, my lower back. I feel muscles being alive. I feel them. Oh, no, but you can't do that, dude. You gotta stop that shit, man. Because that's not getting you stronger. Really. So this pump that I'm getting with a set of 50, and everything in my body's telling me that shit right there is good for you. I need to ignore that feeling. I need to turn away from what my body's telling me that this is actually like a proper freaking workout. And I have to go back to the 3s and the 2s and the 1s where I feel a ton of weight on me. I feel like my freaking core is gonna explode. I feel tension, I feel weight, but I don't feel muscles engage. I need to go do that. Okay, no worries. I've spent 4 damn years doing that. 4 years. Where I went wrong is that I didn't take any steroids. Maybe I should have done that and then all the training makes sense. This is the thing, man. Like, how much of this shit that we read, how much of this shit that we actually listen to on the webs, how much actually this applies for natural dudes? I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but how much of this stuff is actually made for natural guys? I remind you, Arnold Schwarzenegger blew up this whole freaking genre of fitness. No longer are we talking about going playing soccer and basketball. Now it's transitioning into the gym. The gym has become like this popularity thing. Not only do you go to the gym to work out, but you go out there for fashion, to socialize, to make content, to become famous, all this sort of stuff. Gym. And I don't know, man. I don't know if we're just all being lied to. Maybe we just have to just, I don't know. It makes me wonder. The majority of this journey you read, and I love reading, I love listening, I love consuming content about this stuff, listening to all this stuff, but whatever I do, always go back to the basics. high weight. That's what makes, not high weight, high reps. That's what makes most sense to me. Fives felt incredibly better than the singles I was doing. Spent a week with tens and I'm like, yeah, for sure, tens are better than fives. Now I did a set of 50 and I'm like, definitely 50s are better than tens. What can I say? What can I say? So I did 60 kilos for a damn set of 50 today. What am I going to do tomorrow? 100 for 30? You're all right. What's 100 for 30? 3,000, right? Has to be. Yeah, it is. Where does she keep her calculator? I don't know where the freaking calculator is in this phone. She's got 1,000 damn icons on the mobile phone. Who cares about the calculator? Oh, here's the calculator. Of course it is. Well, let me run this. Let's just do it. Okay, 30 times 100, 3,000. 3,600, which is the target tonnage that I'm looking for with 180 times 20, divided by 100, of course, is 36. So if I think to myself, 3,600 is the tonnage I need, and I just play with all these different combinations of that, where I'm in the ballpark. So tomorrow, let's get 100 for 30. The question though is, when the MRAPs come around, am I going to be dead? Probably. So then why don't I do 100 for a lesser tonnage? So the tonnage could be like my little vital sign, right? How do you work out what's what? Well, just think of it as tonnage. Do 100 for 20. And then the following day, MRAP day. I don't know. Amazing comment, MB Haystacks. Freaking amazing. I have thought about this type of thought before, but without you, it would have never crossed my mind again. My quads are alive. They're shaking. My core feels strong. The weight wasn't heavy. I feel like in that set, I've trained my legs, not my core. That's what I feel. When the weight gets heavy and I start doing singles, doubles and triples. The phone cut out, so it's telling me I'm going too long. But when I train with super light weights, I feel like I'm training my legs. When I'm training with super heavy weights, I feel like I'm training my core, my bracing, my tightness. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. When I'm doing the 180 AMRAPs, I'm feeling a crazy burn in my glutes, hamstrings, quads, lower back. So what if I can train the burning side of all of that using lesser weight, get the burn on, keeping my core and lower back intact, ready for the AMRAP sets. And we all know how long it takes for the core to recover, the lower back and such. Maybe this is something I can explore. Tomorrow, I'm gonna drop the tonnage down. I'm not gonna, try and get freaking 3,000 kilos. I'll try and get, I don't know, something lower, maybe 2,000 kilos or something like that, and maybe try and recover somewhat. Anyway, interesting thought. Interesting thought. My body feels freaking amazing after that set of 60 kilos. Unbelievable. Appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.